Hey everybody, it is your girl Everything's Me coming back with another video. So you guys know that I have been doing commentary on the XXXTENTACION case, and we have gotten to the verdict.
The first,
But okay, let's hear what the judge said.
and the second one says due to previously scheduled appointments, they're requesting to not meet tomorrow and instead meet Monday at 10:30. State, I see a reaction from you, but when you had witnesses who had a home closing, you asked that the court be suspended for the. I'm making a record like you like to make records. I'm looking at your facial expressions. When you had witnesses who had personal things to do, you recessed the court for a day on more than one occasion. When we had hundreds of jurors, potential jurors come in, and most of which you said they in no way were interested in being involved in a case that was going to go on a couple of weeks. I discussed with the jury that we would give them reasonable time in the morning to drop kids off and make accommodations for them to pick kids up. Okay? So I don't find anything unusual in a case where we asked them to come in for almost, to clear 2 months of their schedule, for them not to be able to make previously scheduled doctor's appointments or pick their kids up when they need to do so. So I don't have any difficulty granting these requests. It wasn't just the state. The parties also had matters during the trial where they asked, can we not be in session on this day? Can we start later on this day? And the court was willing to make those concessions for the parties. And the jury oftentimes came in when they were told to at the start time, and because of motions and other arguments that came up overnight, they were sitting back there for hours waiting for us to start. So I think it's somewhat disingenuous for the parties now to grumble about their schedule. The determination of verdicts is an important matter that cannot and should not be rushed. It helps neither side. It will take time that they need to take, and I don't have any difficulty with that. We are here to make sure that they have enough time and that they deliberate on a schedule that we can accommodate. I'm going to allow that. So, 3:40, I will bring them out about 4 o'clock today and dismiss them, and we will reconvene Monday at 10:30.
Okay, y'all. So you heard that we don't have a verdict at all. I can understand the prosecution lady getting getting what do you call it? Not getting mad, but getting a little frustrated because now I don't know what's wrong with this jury, but something is up with this jury. I think my own personal opinion, I think that some of the people on the jury has been they've been looking at social media, they've been researching stuff. I don't care what nobody say, because you can't say that they're not doing that because you don't live with them. You don't know what they do when they go home. They're probably talking about the case. Come on, people are human. They're sitting there talking about the case to their friends and family, because why would they bring up that they need evidence that wasn't even in the case? They're asking for evidence. You cannot ask for evidence that was not presented. So why are you asking for evidence that was not even presented? On top of that, I just feel like this jury doesn't have the skills to retain information that they have already heard. They keep going back to the social medias. you have already been shown the social medias over and over and over again. Now I know we don't want to rush this. That's what I agree. I do agree with the judge where he said you're not supposed to rush this. Okay, we get it. We get that we're not supposed to rush this. But we have to have a competent set of jurors too. And I don't think you guys picked them well. Because aren't they supposed to answer certain kind of questions? Now, some people, they will lie. But for these jurors, they don't know how to retain information. They have to keep showing them over and over again, like they're babies or something. Like you can't remember certain things. That's not good for the case. But now so there's not going to be a verdict for today, as I already know. Because let me tell you something, by the time it gets to 2 to 3 o'clock, you can best believe that there's not going to be no verdict. That's how it's been. It's always been them coming in at 10:30, whatever they're doing back there in that room, I don't know. But then they go to lunch and then they go home. That's been the whole thing. We've been staring at ceilings and walls. One time, I think it was yesterday, all we did was stare at ceilings and walls the whole time. Yeah, but this is really getting frustrating. I'm not saying that they should rush anything. No, you shouldn't rush anything. But what you should do and what you should know and you should be doing is retaining the information that they have already gave you and that you have already seen. Those people shouldn't have to keep showing you something over and over and over again 1,000 times and you still don't get it. That's why I'm talking about these jurors. They just don't get it. They're not retaining the information. They don't know what's going on. They're asking for evidence that wasn't even presented in the first place in this trial. You cannot do that. You have to make your decision off of the evidence that you have been shown. And that's what he wrote down on the paper. So now he's going to bring them back and forth what he said, and he's going to dismiss them to go home. Now they said that one of the witnesses was not going to be able to show up or something because they have an appointment, and that's understandable. You know what I'm saying? Things come up. Life is not always predictable. You might have a routine, but sometimes your routine gets backtracked or messed up because something comes up. So if a witness has something or appointment that they have to take care of, then and they already told the court that, or the court already knows, that they should definitely honor that. You shouldn't get mad at that. Now, to me, if I was going to be a witness on, for a court case, I would try to clear my schedule as much as possible because I know that it's valuable for me to be there in the court. So, I would just have them work. I mean, you can work around a witness schedule, so you shouldn't get really frustrated with that. But I don't think her frustration was that. I think the prosecution's frustration is with the jury. And when he talked about the witness not coming in, I think she just was like, oh God, that too. But I think that everybody is really frustrated with this jury because I don't think they're a good jury. I think they should be disbanded from even making any more decisions with this case. They're making this case look really weird and like a clown show because you're asking for evidence that you're not supposed to be asking for. You're asking for evidence that was not even presented in the case. You can't do that. You have to make your decision off of evidence that was already presented to you. And then on top of that, you're not retaining the evidence or anything that you've seen in this whole trial. You're not retaining any information. You don't remember nothing because now you're completely asking to see the same thing over and over and over again. This is making absolutely no sense to me. It's getting kind of weird, and they need to do something. I don't know what they can do. It seems like the judge is just going to go with what the jury is saying. But something is really fishy and suspicious with this whole thing. It is. Because if you have a jury that doesn't, they don't understand anything. I'm sure that the court and the judge, we was right there when they read everything to the jury. We were right there when the judge, I posted that video, guys, when the judge read everything that this jury needed to know. He even told them about, you can only make your decision on the evidence presented in this trial. He told them that, and they still asked for evidence that was not presented in the trial. So that is telling me that you have a bunch of incompetent people on the jury that can't retain information. They don't understand. They don't have any listening skills. I don't mean to bash these jurors, but that's what I'm seeing from everything that I have seen so far, from the verdict supposed to be read soon. This is what I'm getting from this jury. It's just not it. The puzzle pieces are not fitting in the right spots with these jurors, and I'm hoping that they can get it together to so that we can have a verdict. But to me, right now, it's looking like they just don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on. They can't retain information, and that's the worst place to be in a trial where you're gonna have a decision whether somebody goes to jail, goes to prison for life, and a family gets justice. You have to have listening skills. You have to have listening skills, memorization skills. You have to have all that. You have to have listening skills. You have to have all that. You have to have all that. You have to have patience. You have to be able to what do they call it? What do they call it when people can't sit for a long time? I forgot what they call that. But you have to be able to sit for a long time and look at videos and evidence, and you have to be able to retain all that information. You have to be able to retain all the information. So I think that when they're asking these people to get on the jury like this, I think that they should have a little test where they have to take from memory. Can you remember that? And if you can't, then you can't be on this jury, because you're gonna have to remember a lot of stuff. A lot of evidence is gonna be presented to you. You might get overwhelmed with so much information and evidence, but you have to be able to retain some of that information. And I just don't think that these jurors are doing that. Maybe they're having a hard time. I don't know. But if you knew you was gonna have a hard time with understanding stuff and memory and stuff, maybe you shouldn't have signed up for this trial. Maybe you should have thought about, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna be a good candidate, because I I can't sit still more than a couple seconds. I'm not gonna be able to retain the information. I don't have good memory, so I don't think I'm gonna be a good one for this case. But I don't know. Maybe they thought they would, but this is what I'm seeing right now, guys. I'm seeing that this jury, I'm hoping they can get it together, but right now, from my perspective and what I'm seeing, they are not getting it together anytime soon. They are not getting it together anytime soon. And we're just going to have to keep waiting and waiting on this verdict. And on top of it, you have to remember Jase's family. They're waiting for the verdict. So I know they're really frustrated. And you know what I'm saying? It's on both sides. You have his family, and then you have the defendant's family. Now, y'all might think that the defendants, forget their family and stuff, but they do have family, and they're probably an uncle or a brother to somebody or a son to somebody. And I told y'all before, you can't depict how a family member is going to feel about another family member that is on or going through a trial of unaliving somebody. You can't tell them how to feel about their family member, because most family members, they always gonna have love for their family member no matter what. A lot of them think they ain't do it no matter what, how much evidence, they don't care. That's their family member. they grew up with that person, and so on. So, both sides are there. I know both sides are frustrated, but hopefully, they're coming back at 10. I think he said 10 o'clock again. And he also referenced that they were supposed to be here today at 10:30, and one of the jurors came at 11. So I really think that the judge and whoever else back there that watches and oversees the jury, that you guys are putting your foot down. Now, if they have did this more than once, then you might want to say, look, if you do it one more time, put your foot down. You do it one more time, you're gonna be off the jury, and we'll just find some, because I heard they had 12 jurors, and they also had 4 alternates. So if somebody will have to leave the being a juror because of things like this, showing up late, you should never be showing up late for jury. And I don't even know why he let that slide the first time, but there are 4 alternates allegedly. I heard there's 4 more for backup, and that I think there should be backup, because you never know what could happen. Somebody could just be like, oh, I can't do this no more, I don't want to do this, and then you're out with jurors. So yeah, that's another thing. But yeah, we there's definitely no verdict today, like I knew it was gonna be no verdict today, because it was getting so late in the day. And once it starts getting late in the day like that, like, I already knew it was over at 2 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? When it hit 2, I was like, I told everybody, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Because they're not staying any longer than, usually they leave at 4. They're not staying any longer than that. I think they do that cutoff time for, because ain't nobody getting paid no overtime. They probably don't want to pay these jurors no overtime, so they probably like, look, you gotta go home at 4. But yeah, I already knew that it wasn't going to be a verdict today. All we can do is hope and pray that they get it together, and they can start retaining information, because I'm just not understanding. You're asking for the same exact evidence over and over and over again, like you're just not getting it, like you just don't understand. So guys, with that being said, please like this video. Also, hit me in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Do you think that these jurors are, what do you think is going on with them? Do you think that they're confused a lot about the trial and the evidence and the rules and regulations on how a case works? Do you think that they have been allegedly researching this case, because they don't know how to make their own decision? What do you think is going on with this jury? Why do you think it's taking so long for them to make a decision? Do you think they have doubts about because they didn't see, because they had masks on? That might be something too. Because they had masks on, they're probably like, well, we can't see that they were the shooter. They had masks on. But that's not an excuse anyway, because they gave you guys everything you needed of why they were the suspects. Them buying the mask, going into the bike store and buying the mask. When they went into the bike store, you could see them look right at the victim. The car links them back. They have that should be a clear indication that they were all there. That car linked them back to, who rented the car to them, what kind of car it was. They had the Bluetooth. They also had the exchange of text messages back and forth. So I'm not understanding any of this right now. I'm not understanding what more does this jury want to see. What more do you want to see? I mean, are they getting off on this? I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me how you have all this evidence. All this evidence. They even went to the house and found evidence. Receipts of them buying clothes. They even have them on camera buying clothes. Loads of money that they would never been able to have. That tell you right there. But it's just like this jury is just sitting there, basically to me doing absolutely nothing. Doing absolutely nothing. I just feel like some of them on the jury is trying to act like they're sometime big time lawyers or something. You know what I'm saying? And they just want, maybe you never know. Maybe they want to get more attention for being on this trial. That could be another thing too. They could want to get more attention because the longer the trial goes out, this is going to be all over the news. Oh, they haven't made a decision yet. Oh, they haven't did this. Then they gonna want to talk to the jurors. Oh, what took you so long of making a decision? And maybe that's it. Maybe they want to get that 5 minutes of fame or whatever. I don't know, but y'all hit me in the comments and let me know what you think. Also, hit the bell notification so you won't miss another video. I love you guys. Always thinking about you. Until next time, it is your girl, Everything's Me, and I will see you guys in another one. Peace.